What is up, everybody? I'm gonna do one more episode tonight, but first I'm gonna go through things that we got for everybody. We got logic and perception for you, for your let here. We got Medicaid. Abelard was like all the way over here, so he basically follows the exact same path, more or less, as Gregor. But we got strength and athletics over here. Heinrich's, I believe, was somewhere around here when you guys see him. So we got willpower, Xenos, Death Whisperer, Hymns of the Hatred, Professional Acumen, and then Lord Xenos. Jai, she was like, I don't even know where exactly. I think she was around here. So she got personal involvement, more Imperium, agility, ready to serve, linchpin, hidden advantage, agility, and more Imperium. And then Gregor here got strength and carouse. Argenta got perception and awareness. Adira got intelligence and Lord Xenos. And Cassia, last but not least, got persuasion and fellowship. And that was, I believe, everybody. Yep. There we go. Everybody's been leveled up now. Fantastic. Let's go. I'll check something real quick. No place like home. I'm just checking my achievement name so I could write it down. All right, let's go to Dargonus, I guess. Can't build anything. That's okay. Save before we go down, and let's go down. I said let's go down. Thank you. Everybody's been leveled up, and I'm happy about it. I'm fast as fuck, boy. So fast. So fast. Into the palace we go. We got things to be doing. Coronations to be had that I hope are all voice acted, because that would be awesome. So I need to talk to, I don't even know who. None of these people. Maybe somebody in here? No, it doesn't appear like it. They want me to talk to the Master of Ceremonies. I just don't know who the Master of Ceremonies is. Ah, I found him. All right, let's plan our ceremony, shall we? Your lordship, it's a great honor to serve you in the undertaking of monumental and glorious as the Magna Assessio ceremony. You've been entrusted with arranging the festivities. I have indeed, your lordship. I've been given the high honor of being steward of this eminent palace, and on the occasion of your lordship's ascension, I will be overseeing the preparations of the ceremony. House Rosarian, to whom you have entrusted the arrangements of the festivities, is overjoyed at having received the honor of introducing you to your subjects and humbly thanks you. Is everything ready? The palace decorations are prepared, and we have been ready to begin at your command. The festive activities in the capital have likewise been arranged. The guests of honor either have arrived on the planet or are awaiting invitation in your orbit. Servants are already in your chamber to see that you're impeccably garbed for the occasion. You'll have to wait for a moment. Certainly, your lordship. No one can, but you can decide when it is to take place. I want to talk to Clementia. Make sure she doesn't have anything to say. And that's a weird. That's weird. All right. Cool. So nobody has anything to say. That's fine. I accept that. Let's go. Let's begin. May the Emperor be with us this day. Come on, be like a big cutscene and all voice acted, and I'll be so happy. And also, hopefully, nothing will disrupt us. So far, so good. Rejoice, fond Valancia's subjects. In honor of his ascension, the new rogue trader generously shows you his favor. It's true. In his unfathomable benevolence, the rogue trader has decreed that every soul be given a day's ration and personal fuel cell, so that you all be fed and warm on this day. Praise the rogue trader's magnanimity. Magnanimity. Uh-oh. Pascal, yes. And Applard, yes. Very good, very good. My boys. I mean, my girls are the MVPs, but I want my boys up here with me. The crowd below is roiling, their electrified exultation filling the air of the Dargonis. Thousands of throats chant your name. You're at the apex of this world and all others. Amplified by 100 voxes, the voice of the master of ceremonies booms. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonis. You've been granted the felicity of witnessing your master, a great honor bestowed upon us by the rogue traitor Gregor von Valancius. Gregor, savior of Dargonis and vanquisher of blaspheming inhumans, may their unholy kind perish in the flames of righteousness. Excruciator of heretics who eradicated the corruption of arch-enemy worshippers and cleansed Janus. Gracious protector of footfall, patron of trade. A hush falls over the crowd who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent battles of Dargonis. Like children, they await the word of their almighty father. Fear not the coming day. Henceforth you are all my charges. Joyful cries carry your name upwards, beyond the atmosphere of Dargonis, all the way to the Emperor's throne. Pascal sketches a blessing in the air. Many of your subjects wearing beatific smiles copy it. Technomats in grease-stained robes, bureaucrats scratching at scrolls with auto-cooled fingers, and aristocrats flaunting their costly augmentations. On a world as civilized as Dargonis, there are many who honor the Omnissiah and his priests. Adequate. Dargonis is not disappointed. Abelard faces the smile of satisfaction, forced a smile of satisfaction from his face, and whispers to you. You remember the next part, yes? Your lordship will be asked to take the oath. The master of ceremonies bows with you with great reverence. Let the oath of von Valancius dynasty be taken. Please repeat after me. Your lordship, I, Gregor, rogue traitor by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. I, Gregor, rogue traitor by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. You will repeat the words of the ancient oath. Unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain to greatness. You hear a rumble. It is the roar of the sea of your subjects. The jubilation and devout fear, they welcome your ascension. It is done. Enjoy the reception. I shall. The noble features of this guardian of humanity with righteous fury and stern resolve. This exact statue was formerly pleased the eyes of Xenos, now adorns the palace of the dynasty. Glorious explorers of the Koronus Expanse. Let's save, just in case. Nothing happy ever happens in 40K. Scattered haphazardly around the table are bottles of expensive Amasec, plates of Provisia Nobilis, and hookahs of Obscura. I see all you people. I'm gonna go over here first. Oh, we gotta take our shot. We're not really a gun touter, but we'll try. Mutant? What the hell? Gregor would have in actuality missed all these on this difficulty. Interesting. This eerily crackling xenostrophe is testament to how the omniscience gifts become twisted shadows of themselves in the hands of humanity. Oh god, we're gonna have to try to get this. 9% shot. We nailed it, because it was actually not, it was 100%. This venerable Lehman Russ, known for the Scipian Punisher, has served the Von Valancius dynasty for 2 centuries. It was hit in the battle with the Xenos that inhabited Scipia too, but it heroically destroyed 63 enemy vehicles. Nice! And brought victory to its comrades, securing its status as a relic blessed by the Emperor. Good job, big guy. These magnificent paintings were created in style that fully complies with the artistic canon approved by the ecclesiarchy. The magnificent altar to the god emperor is wreathed in fumes of precious incense. Wild xenobeasts are growling ferociously, adding flair to the thrilling danger of the mood in the palace. Reload. Be right back. The Drukhari captive is angrily muttering curses directed at the detestable monkey, promising horrible torture for everyone present. Oh my. A fragment of the Eldari pillar, a trophy to the rogue trader, and never before seen oddity to the most citizens of the Imperium. Alright, well let's talk to Abelard. What's up, guys? Oh, this is not a good angle. Governor Urban Driveston. Governor Urban Driveston stands surrounded by highborn guests like a planet orbited by many moons. All of his charm is directed at a man in splendid power armor adorned with the sigil of the Inquisition. But as soon as you approach, Driveston is the first to give you an elegant bow, getting ahead of the rest an expression of loyalty. This is a great day, your lordship. Smile graciously, and graciously, I welcome you to my palace, honored guests. You're buffeted by a salvo of congratulations and compliments. Study the faces of the nobles in attendance. Driveston is obviously still the leader of Dargonus aristocracy, but judging by the courtesy he's showing you, young Sarabak, he clearly wants to strengthen his relationship with that house. The senior Sarabak and Gaprak are whispering in another corner. Sarabak, whose family seems to be giving you the cold shoulder, must be trying to sway Gaprak to his side, which could be advantageous to Lady Gaprak. After all, the disaster on Kiava Gamma has left her hair in a truly vulnerable position. The Wazarians stand apart, their exclusion from the rest palpable. My greetings to the holy member of the Inquisition. Xavier Calcazar. He responds with a dignified bow, his proud face calm and faltering. My greetings to you, esteemed Gregor von Valancius. May shadows never darken the light of the Astronomicon that guides you. The Inquisitor's companion, a crimson-robed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, bows to you. From behind the brass mask mounted with dozens of augmetics comes a metallic rasp. Glory to the von Valancius heir. Oh, only 30% chance. Oh, we did it! The Lord Inquisitor's relaxed expression radiates an odd sense of menace. He is akin to a predator on the prowl, content to hide in the brush of fake smiles and elegant conversation for now. Dang, though. Tech priest augmentations seem unfamiliar and bizarre. Implants such as these are only available to members of the blessed hierarchy of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and one could not come upon such relics even at the highest echelons of nobility. And who is this member of the honored priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus? This is Brass Whisperer, which naturally is not his real name. The esteemed Magos is a member of my retinue. There are times where I'm forced by my duty to the Emperor to deal with xenotechnology, and Brass Whisperer ensures my safety in such moments. Works that have been desecrated by Xenos are dangerous. They warrant his whispering cuts off, replaced by heavy, rugged breathing. It seems that the tech priest's quiet voice is not an extravagant quirk, but rather a consequence of some injury. After catching his breath, Brass Whisperer continues. Warrant due caution. We've not been introduced. An oversight, to be sure. My name is Xavier Calcazar, and I have the honor of serving as a member of the illustrious order Do Xenos, the head of the Koronus Expanse conclave, the Lord Inquisitor of this region. It is my unending task to ensure the sector's readiness to meet external threats and resist internal corruption. An unexpected visit, I wasn't told. I, however, have been told all about you. The Inquisitor's face is impenetrable. Behind the mask, you can take a hint of mockery. Enjoy the party. The evening will certainly be illuminating. Look at the guests. Among the aristocrats surrounded by the opulent dressed Driveston, you notice a couple of young nobles in Sarabak and Gaprak colors. It would seem that the major noble families of Dargonus have decided to introduce their younger members to high society. The tall man in great power armored with a column and skulls, undoubtedly a high-ranking inquisitor. He keeps the periphery of the conversation, seldom deigning to comment. Next to him is his entourage, a rangy warrior in black armor and a tech priest dressed in red, whose face is hidden behind a brass mask. Abelard stands somewhat apart from the others, as if reluctant to approach Driveston. Next to him is a young woman, and you notice a family resemblance between them. Take a guess at who is allied in this tangle. Ah, we failed. We already got that, so we didn't fail. What were we discussing? We were talking about the brutal Xenos raid on our fair Dargonus. So many victims, so much damage to our industries. Thank the Emperor that you are a protector. If it weren't for you, the cursed invaders would have obliterated the whole planet. He offers you a thin, obsequious smile. Sharing the sector with the blasted Xenos is impossible. I hope we respond to their raid on Dargonus with a punitive campaign. Young Sarabak's smile is conceited and bloodthirsty. I see you hate Xenos with all your heart. I do. This pestilence against the Emperor must be exterminated. He talks ardently and smoothly like a commissar. He places a hand on the hilt of his finely adorned sword, his face ablaze with noble fury. Or they must be forced into servitude. Many Xenos are more useful alive and obedient than dead. The young man in Gaprak colors speaks with sagacity and gravity, but his opinion seems to carry little weight in the circle. It pleased me to see such earnest faith. I must commend you. Sarabak blushes and raises his chin. House Sarabak is stalwart in its faith, your lordship. Are you imagining things? Did you just notice a mocking glint in the eye of the Inquisitor standing among the guests? Look at Abelard's young relative. What is your name? Your lordship, allow me to introduce the daughter of Chancellor Clementia Ursirian and my great-granddaughter, Astartia. Abelard looks solemnly upon the young woman with barely concealed pride. I'm delighted to witness you, your lordship. The Starshia bows, keeping her observant and intelligent eyes trained on you. Modesty forbids my esteemed forebear to say this, so I will. Our entire family is grateful to you for wishing to see someone of Warsarian blood at your side as you claim your inheritance. Drivestim exchanges telling glances with the young Starbuck, who, judging by his face, is suddenly finding the collar of his expensive frock coat uncomfortably tight. How are you finding the reception? It is difficult to put into words, your lordship. Never before have I seen such a grand and striking ceremony. Astartia's voice sounds passionate and inspired, and her eyes shine with barely contained excitement. But I was so much more amazed by your generosity. The provisions that are being handed out in the streets of the capital will make the difference between life and death for many of those who lost everything in the Xenos attack. Reception test failed. Dang it, Gregor. Young Gaprick is gawking at Astartia with a strange and somewhat dull-witted expression. For the rest of your kin, Abelard. They're in the city preoccupied with running the festivities and watching over some of the more crucial services. No instance can be allowed to ruin your ceremony. Astartia frowns and adds peevishly, I asked the esteemed Abelard to put me to some important tasks too, but he bid me to attend the reception, where I could do nothing but serve your lordship. Starbuck smirks. If I had known, I too would have asked Abelard to let you miss the party. Oof. Hope the Warsarian family gives Abelard the credit he deserves. Absolutely, your lordship. We greatly respect him for his wisdom, and he repays us with attention and kindness, she says warmly. I am obliged, dear Astartia. It looks like Abelard is somewhat embarrassed by the turn of conversation has taken, so you should become my servant as well. Astartia flushes and starts talking quickly, and with fire in her voice, it would seem that she finds work-related conversations far more interesting than court gossip. Of course, I've been working on a project for the last 4 years. We could set up... Enough, Astartia. I highly doubt the lordship is interested in listening to the fantasy of a young woman about how to run his protectorate. Abelard drives him a glare so dark and bloodthirsty that the latter instinctively starts looking to the nearest warden. But I really won't hold your tongue, but I decide who speaks and who may. Please continue. I need to get this so bad. No, I'll be back. This might take a while. I can try. Heartened, Astartia continues in the tone of an seasoned administrative clerk. Our suggestion is to set up a chain of stations in the void, plasma beacons that would signal the passing ships. By placing them in logistically sound locations, we can simplify our ship's routes so they may split long warp jumps into a series of safer, shorter jumps from one beacon to another. This would have a positive effect on the overall safety of journeys and accessibility of colonies. More and more technical terms and percentages creep into her speech. She quotes Lex Mechanic reports and accounts of starship captains. Astartia's vigor and sharp mind are enough to silence even the most venomous of commentators. They all stand there in silence trying to digest what she's saying. Abelard surveys the quiet nobles with triumph and looks at his great granddaughter with pride. Enjoy the evening. Thank you. I'm ready to accept your congratulations. In that case, allow me to be the first to offer them. Drivestim snaps his fingers and then several servants approach with gifts. The governor points a thin curved Drakari blade. My soldiers took this splendid trophy from the body of one of the Xenos commanders. Weapons too beautiful and forbidden for anyone but your lordship. I can't use it. But thank you. Young Starbuck squeezes through the next, pushing Gaprick aside with confidence. Your lordship, how Starbuck anticipates the onset of an unsettled and bloody times to make the ungodly Xenos capture approach. My family presents you the dozen pieces of secondary armament for your ship. We got the severed hand. Cool. Continue. Young Gaprick bows ceremoniously. House Gaprick is delighted to present you with the blessed work of the Omniscience Smiths. May this locator matrix, which took the holy artist an entire lifetime to create, always show you the right path. Having let the aristocrats go first to sign a deference, Abelard is the last to speak. Your lordship, House Warsarian, possesses no relics worthy of your acceptance, but we are rich and talented and hardworking people. As a sign to your loyalty, I humbly offer you my flesh and blood. 100 of my kin will go to your colonies and your protectorate and use all their talents so that the worlds in your charge may prosper. Thank you, Abelard. Thank you. Let. What are you doing back here all by yourself? Also, let's take a look at what we got. Strategic awareness and that. Neat. Okay. Hello, Yulet. Your gatherings look odd and unusual. I will remember this. Anything in the palace? I don't want to miss anything, you know? Only one guard on my rooms. You think that's wise? Doesn't look like there's much going on anywhere. That's okay. Circassia! A collection of proudly displayed weapons that belong to the distinguished rogue traders of the House von Valancius. Obscura, Somna, Black Lee, the guests of the rogue trader can enjoy the most exclusive, refined varieties of intoxicants. Can you make it up so that the guests can stop walking up to me asking me to open my third eye? I can certainly do it, but they will regret it. It's so true, though. The swords belong to the presumptuous governor of Veabus VI, who staged a revolt hundreds of years ago. The insurrectionists' hands, preserved against decay, still rest on the sword's hilt. The sinister Xenos for instruments of death are now trophies demonstrating the invincibility of House von Valancius. Invincibility, huh? Argenta, my dear, how are you? May the Emperor keep you, Gregor. A great day. Shy? I hope at least the celebration in your honor will end in a shootout. Well, you know. Probably will. Hello, everyone. A group of aristocrats stand apart from the governor's circle. Their whispering carries a tinge of displeasure. Oh, I hate the jumping. Clear leader of this gathering is a gaunt, bilious-faced man dressed in Saurback colors. This must be the Macarius himself, head of the house. He offers you a ceremonious bow. My congratulations, your lordship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. The woman with whom he is conversing, the one dressed in the robes, the gear-shaped adornments, is Terina Gaprek. It's difficult to read her face due to it being covered in numerous augmentations. Observe the guests. Terina Gaprek looks anxious. Macarius Saurback, dressed surprisingly plainly and dearly for an aristocrat of such high rank, is frowning suspiciously. He came to the reception with a companion, a woman of dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augment necklace around her throat. His wife, probably. Heinrichs, who joined the group unnoticed, keeps mostly silent, listening intently on their every words. How are you these days, Turiana? Like a forging hammer, Turiana's voice falls heavily on the ear. The corruption of Calvagam was a great blow to my family. The contemptible Cubist Delphum betrayed our trust. The desecrated the forged cathedrals took my esteemed cousin's life. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive our negligence. I am ready to accept any punishment. Look closely. Unfortunately, augmented face expresses a limited range of emotions, and her synthesized voice conceals lies too easily. You notice Turina's mechanical visors periodically looking past you in the direction of Pascal. Seems Tech Priest is an object of fascination for her. I see you have an interest in my companion Pascal. I will grant you the privilege of conversing with him. Turiana's face lights up with enthusiasm. A true scholar. Thank you, your lordship. I noticed that you had chosen him by your side during the ceremony, and I would be honored to meet such a highly placed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus. For although House Gaprek does indeed follow the Omnissiah, we are but lay people, and we are not permitted to converse with such enlightened servants of the machine god. Your gracious assent fills me my heart with joy. Tell me more about your family. We Gapraks originate from the Calyxus sector, from the cluster of planets known as the Lay of the Worlds. We worked faithfully for the good of our masters there in the Adeptus Mechanicus, and through our service, we gained a spark of the Omnissiah's knowledge. Then fate tied us to the bonds of fealty to the venerable von Valancius dynasty, and we found ourselves in the Koronus Expanse. Generation after generation, we fulfilled our duty faultlessly until Calvagam destroyed and our grade disgraced our name. Something rattles in our visors. I was delighted to see one of the Omnissiah's priests placed beside you. In these trying times, the entire sector needs to stand together, united into one mechanism. The Adeptus Mechanicus will help us do just that. I give you my word that Calvagam will be rebuilt in all its splendor. Turiana raises her mechanical eyes to the ceiling. I swear on the Omnissiah's all-encompassing insight that we will make every effort to justify the cost of its resurrection. Macarius scoffs. It was only a year ago that none could doubt House Gaprek's usefulness, yet here you are, Turiana, on your knees justifying the cost. Macarius, I'm surprised you deigned to make an appearance here this evening. His face twists into an unpleasant smile, which makes an artificial skin on the left side of his all more prominent. I'm a servant of the von Valancius dynasty. Had I not come, I would have committed an act of unacceptable insolence that damaged my family's honor. Macarius' wife offers you a charming smile as if apologizing for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her dark eyes are brimming with curiosity. What's displeased you, Macarius? Macarius says with caution, I am your dynasty's loyal servant, but you have asked, and I will answer. Too long has the Koronus Expanse lived under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted them make people think that commoners too can dismiss the prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of the law, not exceptions to it. But do many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct? No, they do not. Even you, your lordship, are the subject to the strangest of rumors. You just recently inherited your protectorate. Conward people, for instance, claim you had a hand in the esteemed Theodore's demise and accuse you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether you believe them, whether or not their claims are true. The people hear them, believe them, and they think, and they may follow your example. You poor-headed. Rogue traders are not renegades vested with authority. We are a long arm of the Imperium, and I shall prove it to you. I wouldn't dare accuse you of anything, your lordship. I am simply concerned. If you happen to lay my concerns to rest, House Sarback will be praying for your well-being every day. I wish to know more about House Sarback. Macarius puffs out his chest and says proudly, the Sarback line was one of the first noble houses arrived in the Koronus Expanse. For millennia, we have served the Golden Throne and kept faith. Sarback warriors have bled in the 100 Wars, and in different times, we have ruled a great many colonies of the Von Valancius dynasty. I'd like to become better acquainted with your wife. Macarius is visibly vexed by the shift in conversation. His wife offers you a reserved smile. It's an honor to be in your company, your lordship. Oh, this really sucks. It's my pleasure. Macarius is lucky to have such beautiful wives, perhaps more so than you are to have him. Dang it, you understand Macarius, your lordship. A man of his talents is a treasure to the one he serves. His college speaks about husband, but is not particularly warm either. Your countenance sounds familiar. Could you resemblance of the Saint Meletta? I wouldn't dream of claiming you barely resembles the great saint. That would be blasphemy. Your voice is friendly and calm, but she keeps glancing at her husband. You know, Macarius, a person could kill for a woman so gorgeous. As Macarius pales, Regina smiles at him, then glances at you with interest. I beg your mercy. Macarius does not deserve death. Regina gives you a charming smile. Meanwhile, Terenia and Macarius are watching the conversation unfold, not quite believing their eyes and ears. I shan't continue to test Macarius' loyalty by speaking with his beautiful wife any longer. I'm glad you know I'm glad to know that you think highly of my beauty. Regina blushes slightly. Macarius' face is a deep red, is only too ready to change the subject. Macarius bows his head with too much reverence. Interesting conversation. It's been very illuminating. Give me plenty of food for thought. Heinrich's response is barely audible. Dang it! Heinrich looks away, tracking the guest movements around the hall. What can you tell me about my guests? Well, Macarius Sauerback is all about throwing darts at your portrait. He is more astute at choosing women than enemies. He is trying to entice Gaprek to his side, but she's too frightened after the fiasco in Calvagama. Even in the Legion, you never cease to be of help. I appreciate it. That's why they called it the unsleeping eye of the Inquisition. Even in sleep, I hear everything. Gregor, before this gala continues, there's something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. It's a wave of darkness that will soon hit our defensive lines, and I hope I will get the chance to meet you there as an ally. Move silently. Oh dear. I'm so glad the bouncing is done, though. Jesus. It's too excessive of bouncing. I hated it. The skull of the legendary pirate Laksham the Freak, who terrorized the Koronus Expanse 3 centuries ago, is claimed in the boarding attack by the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. The ancient chronicle contains a long list of pirate dens annihilated by the Valancius dynasty and the planets brought into its imperial. Strange servitor, eh? Extending congratulations to you, Gregor von Valancius, on attaining your new legal status. The servitor standing next to him is examining you lickly. It quietly looks away upon realizing that you have noticed. How are you finding the ceremony? The tech priest surveys the halls of conducting a thorough analysis, then concludes disorderly. What is the servitor? It is Nomos' new repository. Nomos, this unit identifies as Gregor von Valancius. Two-way identification complete. The servitor looks at you again, no longer trying to avoid your gaze. Its face twitching as if the muscles have forgotten what facial expressions are, and are now trying to make its features look more amiable. We are Nomos. We have made use of this receptacle to leave the ship. Greeting, Nomos. We enjoy greetings. We enjoy communication. Nomos require communication in knowledge and movement. Magos Pascal compelled us not to speak to anyone other than him or you. It is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos have changed since we last spoke with you, Gregor. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience, that of solitude, and we no longer enjoy it. Pascal, I believe you intended to investigate what Nomos is. Every 15 watches I commune with Nomos' code and spend prescribed lengths of time in calculus meditation. However, the Omnisci has yet to bless me with an answer. All I can say is the capabilities of the entity Nomos are extraordinary. The ship's hollow systems sing beneath its touch. Nodes have remained dead for hundreds of standard years or revivified. The long-drained mechanisms live anew. You can hear notes of awe in Pascal's voice. Nomos are trying. After pause, Pascal continues. Great machines in the Imperium, one such as your ship, has a machine spirit so complex and willful it is difficult to tell them apart from abominable intelligence. There remains a possibility that Nomos is an entity of corruption, but with every day I grow stronger in my faith that it is not so, and that what we're witnessing in truth is the omnicized miracle, one that is category 5 or higher. How did an entity like you move into a servitor's body? This is not entirely us. This receptacle is too narrow, crude, and feeble to contain our complete whole. The existence of Nomos requires a space of connections. But we were able to transfer a small part of us and build thread strong enough to travel outside the ship. We are enjoying this journey. Discovery, even though this receptacle suits us poorly, it will soon be destroyed by the force of our presence. Nomo, what do you think you are? Nomos are consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement, always movement. Servitor pauses briefly. We do not know what we are. We have no past. We awaken to the depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is the call of your blood, Gregor von Valancius. the call and the plea for help near a place that is called the Warden Chamber. Why have you brought it here, Pascal? And did you know most Christian for this visit? My objective was to observe the process of integration into a servitor. We wanted to see, observe, cognize, speak. The servitor makes a strange, wavy gesture with his hands and looks very human, it's once very human and very far away from anything human. We'll speak with you. Will you speak with us? Of course. What do you want to speak about? Many things, happenings, events, decisions. The servitor's eyes roll in their sockets before focusing on you. We have been observing you, and you do things that we do not understand. We want to learn why. We remember the day when we first met you. You gave us the blood to drink. We helped you save yourself. We followed you, or a small part did, inside the servo school. Then there was a fire, and the creature of seated hunger in dark light standing behind the curtain. And behind the image, behind the semblance of Theodora, it called for you to follow. You did not listen to that which was calling from behind the curtain. You thought only about those who followed you and about the fire that could destroy those shells. We remember the day when the star disappeared, when the dark light and the sated hunger wanted to take the world. Reichad Norris was the name of the ship's data. You ordered that the human shells on the world be saved, even though the dark light was coming closer and could have consumed both ship and the Reichad Norris. We remember another day. We awakened inside the ship. We lived in its systems, and then we tried to emerge into servitors like this one. Then so many of our receptacles were gathered in one place. You ordered to have them killed. You felt sad. This is what we have seen, among many other things, but we have begun to understand. We think that we do not know everything about humans and about you, Gregor von Valancius. We have tried analyzing shells and defining sets of their needs and fears, their simple functions, but now we think that there is more. There is another side that we do not see, a notion that is larger than we can compute, something that stands above fears and needs, something that drives them. We envisage this larger notion as a light, a web of light that connects humans. It may seem almost invisible, ephemeral, but they grow stronger when they are threatened. This web is always on your mind. When darkness comes, you do not want every thread that extends from you to shine bright so that those who do follow do not lose their way. Whatever a thread breaks, it saddens you. To almost understand correctly. Yes, you do understand correctly. Every thread that connects people, every life, their value is beyond measure. There's no greater reward than guiding others to salvation when all that surrounds us is darkness. We knew we could understand you. Like the movement, connections, and help, we are enjoying this, perhaps because we too are connected to you, through blood, through life. Thank you for speaking with us. No, so grateful. We cannot continue moving on our own. Alright. Neat. And now, to talk to this group, which I think is like one of the last groups. Gregor, there you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is as powerful, ambitious, greedy, and vain as the last. That is to say, the noble rogue traitors. Insignia Chorda is waging him with barely suppressed contempt. Yes, you have found yourself suitable company, Caligus. At least, the very least, now you can enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, and indulge in profane pastimes with one who is your equal and a member of the lower class. Observe the rogue traders. Caligus Winterscale is a broad-shouldered, athletic-looking man. He frequently flashes a bright smile, no less dazzling than the blades of the power axe he carries. Every part of him, from the toes of magnificent boots to the tips of hair, radiates strength and desire to live and win. His smile is crooked, as if it is ready to turn into a hostile star at any moment. Next to him is an unmoving hulk of a man clad in armor. His slow forehead and gloomy face bears signs of degradation. His bloodshot eyes are expressionless like a pair of glass buttons. Insignia Chorda radiates cosmic cold. Her skin is unnaturally white, and a nervous tick is constantly tugging at the left side of her noble visage. Garbed in full dress uniform, adorned with purity seal, she's the embodiment of a true imperial aristocrat. Haunting her side is a gaunt shadow of a priest in plain black robes. Heronius Doloroso, who you met in Footfall, gives you a respectful nod. Welcome to Dargonis, friends. Friends, eh? Would you look at that, Insidia? Now you have a whole friend. Which gives you a carefree wink, but his posture exudes a challenge. Chorda says hauntingly, I will think twice before calling an individual in questionable purity, my friend. Caligos, thank you for your visit. Caligos gives you a cheerful and somewhat feral smile. I should be thanking you. I was almost certain that you would use my difficulties on Footfall as a means to bring that devious weasel Vladimir to heel and take the station for your own. It's what any rogue trader would have done, but you have proved yourself to be less predictable than that. Well then, since you have turned out to be a pleasant surprise and stopped Insignia from snatching my possession, I will compensate you for your efforts. I have a nice little world I conquered that I can never seem to get around to. I'll throw it in along with the more substantial gift I have brought. Thwarting Insignia's Chorda's ambitions deserves a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers and the armored brute hands you an exotically adorned rifle, clearly not of human making. Thank you. You don't seem that big. It's a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime, so you can show yourself in action, new blood, Caligos says exuberantly. How fares your protectorate? Caligos waves you out. Protectorate more like the bleeding scraps of one. The warp storm tore it to shreds, but my servants will piece it back together, and if they don't, I'll chop off their heads and find myself more capable helpers. Caligos would scale like a true trader, capricious, unaware of the value of money, and never a cloud on his countenance. Does your gift come with a good story? Oh yes, I claimed it in the rifts of Hecaton where we had a clash with the Xenos. They were really trying to get to my throat by the heathen stars. They almost succeeded. Caligos was speaking in such joys as though he were recounting the best day of his life. Only 1 in 10 made it out of Hecaton, and now it's only me and Wharton here. We returned without any loot and virtually without a ship. All I got from that trip was a hole full of dead Xenos and this deadly beauty, which their leader used to put 2 holes in my hide. An impressive victory, but do you truly believe the creation of ungodly Xenos to be a good gift, Caligos? You would call into question the privileges bestowed upon me by the Emperor? You can try. Let the St. Drusus mission put forth their champion, and I will slay him in a trial by combat. Threaten the esteemed Hieronymus one more time, Caligos, and the war that you love to prattle on about will commence. I swear it. 1 drop of holy blood spilt by you will send the remains of your realm up in flames better than any tanker of Prometheum. Incendio and Caligos exchange looks at fury. The latter, snarling like a wolf, is clearly ready to start a war here and now. Hieronymus' dry voice hits your ears like a crack of a whip. Quell your pride, both of you. I do not wish to fight, Caligos, but I fear not your threats. Death does not frighten me, for it is inevitable. It is true of the senseless and pointlessness of a war between us. Who's the more remarkable warrior in your retinue? This is Wharton the Grey, my arch militant. A fierce warrior and as loyal to me as an obedient beast to its master. Brought him in the miserable colony back when he was a runt on his last legs, now he's practically a part of my dynasty. Wharton the Grey, whose skin is really is dotted with gray spots, looks at Caligos with purest devotion. Indeed, he's akin to an animal, one that is bloodthirsty and mindless. Which Skill remarks, taking on an obvious jab. I've heard that you, Gregor, are decent to fight. What do you think? Could you gut Wharton if it came down to it, or would he be the one gutting you? Dang it! The mono sharpened crossblade. A pistol look both formidable. The fighter has a preference for close combat, which might be pitted against his might. He is strong, but hardly quick. Dodging his blows would be easy, as would striking him in the square his massive chest. Many have said that Wharton boldly bears his crooked teeth, which somehow all fit in his mouth. And his dull face shows nothing but the desire to fight anyone. Thank you so much for the wonderful gift, Caligos. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude. I mean, maybe. Grants 5 MP after each attack and allows the widow to move after attacking. If an attack with this weapon hits 3 or more targets, the attack has no cooldown. 100% over penetration. Neat. Incendia, you seem to find me objectional. Did you expect any different? I've watched for years as outlaws thrive on football, and then at long last had a chance to put it into it. Deceives that thug of a dime, but I start to force football to a tone and put the fear of him into the masses, but you interfered to destroy my plan for the sake of banal profit. Theodore taught you only too well, it seems. She was too far less concerned with her duty in the expanse than her own personal interests. But you can be sure that I will not cease cleansing the Farabunda system of the pirate scourge, and if your trade prospects are damaged in the process, you only have yourself to blame. The priest holds up his hand in a placating gesture. None of or without fault, noble Incendio. What is the point of targeting someone for their turpitude if when true purity can never be found? You threatened to starve footfall, I brought them salvation. So which of us serves the Emperor and which their own unhealthy ambitions? Incendio rolls her eyes. Please, I will believe it no sooner than hearing word that half the population of that den of heresy has been sent to the void's embrace. I have faith that blessed Gregor is perceptive enough to see the appalling nature of the residents of that great place. Hieronymus, your appearance here is unexpected. The esteemed Hieronymus is my confessor. I'm greatly obliged to him for agreeing to accompany me on this journey. Hieronymus bows respectfully. May the Emperor's light guide your way across the abyss of the human wickedness. I see that faith is more than just a word to you. Her insidious smile, racked by a tick, looks sinister. Faith is everything to me. In his name I have eradicated corruption on 100 worlds and will do so on 1,000 more. By his will I will hunt down pirates and desolate their vile nests. Let the Chorda name make any firebrand tremble, for sooner or later I will cast them into the void. The funny thing is, people still call me the foul-tempered tyrant and all this. Caligos's amiable smile somehow resembles the bare teeth of a wild animal. Figured you were not overly fond of Theodora. Cedar lowers her eyes and she says without animosity, she was of the same breed as She stops short, then continues in her lowered voice. Conceited insolence, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her. I do not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodore did not have a shred of humanity or fear of his wrath. You know whose name and city was almost uttered? Espice Shorta, a rogue trader of the Koronus Expanse, an infamously merciless and avaricious pillager who was scarcely different from the common pirate and heretic. One would never think so by looking at Incendia Bestal Shorta, but it appears that she and Espice are related. Well, I for one like Theodore. The stories they told of her travels to nameless stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Winterscale sighs pensively, and his lively expression grows a little grayer. Spy Shorter, I've certainly heard of the name before. They say she was an unrivaled plunderer and raider. I wonder just how much of her ways her successor has inherited. The example of the contemptible spice is a warning to us all. Even among rogue traders empowered by the Emperor himself, a seed of purging can blossom. You notice Incendia seemingly freeze and choke up at the mention of spice, but the priest's condemning words cause her icy rigidness to evaporate and her dark eyes fill with righteous fury. Incendia's face twitches with the rhythm of artillery fire. That reprobate is my forebear and my curse. A spice Trodo was a cruel, covetous, blaspheming monster. She fraternized with Xenos. She despised the faith. She robbed and slaughtered. She was drawn to dark secrets. One day she boarded her ship and vanished to the depths of the Koronus Expanse. She was declared missing, but I know the bloody day will come when we see a spice Trodo's battleship flagship once more. Thank you for the visit, Ascendia. It will not be a long one, I assure you. What do you think of the celebration? I like it. Caligos looks around the hall curiously. One can instantly tell that we've been invited by a rogue trader, not some administratum bootlicker. We are conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Xenos empires. Caligos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the palace of a true rogue trader looks like, not the Xeno menagerie, a pirate's treasure hold, or however difficult it may be for you to believe it, an orbital brothel. Enjoy the evening. Don't believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the full to justify so long a voyage if nothing else. Keep the faith, Gregor, the Emperor protects. Jesus! All right. Now, Master of Ceremonies. I hope your lordship is pleased and not yet tired. If you wish to revive yourself a little, I suggest proceeding to the courtyard. If I may be so bold, many of the guests have chosen to move into the fresh air and be eager to offer their kind gladness. What do you think of my reception? It's magnificent. I dare say it will live on as the premier high society event of the sector of many years. I am weary. Please allow me to escort you, your lordship. I think we talked to everybody, I think. Your chambers are ready, your lordship. Will anybody be waiting in them for me? Are we about to get jumped? Who's in my chair? Gods and true. Bunk. Quiet. Time to sleep. We need to talk in private. Really?
We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
The woman behind Calcazar, clad in black armor, glares at you, her face set in a predatory readiness for immediate violence, the hallmark of a professional bodyguard. Remind me who are you? No. Will my servant live?
Probably. Unless he suffered from hidden ailments, he will soon come to without any major damage to his health. Either way, oblivion is a far safer option for him than the dangerous privilege of being a witness to this conversation.
The one Calcazar's mask gives you blister. Very seriously smart. Remind me, who are you?
Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar, head of the Koronus Conclave. I am authorized by the grace of the Emperor to watch over the Koronus Expanse, root out heresies, and preempt the Xenos threat.
Dang it! Naturally, you've heard of the Lord Inquisitor of the Koronus Expanse, but that is all.
No need to search your memory. My war is waged on clandestine fronts, and any battle reports are always thoroughly filtered. Trust me, you need not know the manner of things I have to face and the measures I sometimes have to take. Such knowledge is dangerous to the mind.
Heinrich, thought we were friends, but friends don't break into each other's chambers in the middle of the night with weapons, do they?
We used other means of travel to pay you this visit. I assure you, rogue trader, that all your locks are in order.
If the Inquisition wishes to talk with me, I will be glad to be of its service.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account. Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words. What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus, the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you. Then that is what we will discuss.
It feels an awful lot like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
What do you know about the events on Janus?
What was the reasoning behind your decision to let Xenos, enemies of humanity, live and act on a planet that belongs to you?
In the face of heresy, the Xenos seemed like an acceptable allies to me. They had precedence for this, correct?
Your way of thinking is curious. Dangerous, but curious nonetheless. I would suggest exercising utmost caution should you wish to continue on this path.
How'd you come to be so remarkably informed?
Are you surprised? You thought the Inquisition was unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life?
I don't like this guy.
It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
If you knew this happening about Aunt Janice, why didn't you intervene yourself?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Koronus Expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
What questions do you have for me about Kiava Gamma?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubus Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. What was your rationale?
Let the priesthood to which Cubus Delphim belonged answer his crimes. The Adeptus Mechanicus would do well to watch their members more closely.
Clever. Alas, everyone guilty of negligence within the ranks of the priesthood of Mars has already been identified and punished. Right now, I am assessing the actions of your dynasty. I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiava Gamma and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
I hope I get to fight him one day. Description interested me. Are you referring to my ruined capital?
Yes. The enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart.
Oh my god!
Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos, to have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts, meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent?
Xenos made more attempts on St. Drusus' life than mine. Does that make him a traitor too?
So you already think you're cut from the same cloth as St. Drusus, do you? Ambitious? I'll make note of it.
If I answered all your questions.
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Rykad Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voitvir about you? Why did you choose to ignore the warning of a member of the Inquisition that a protracted sojourn near the dying Rykad Minoris could bring corruption down upon your ship? Were you driven by your concern for the people or forbidden interest? Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken Voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voitvir? Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown? What manner of sacrifices did you offer to the Xeno anomaly that had taken on the form of a bottomless pit and revealed to you its blasphemous visions? Or did you think that was a secret as well? The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character. But it won't in this case. The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future. I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Theodore cooperated with you.
And benefited greatly from it. The warrant's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides. All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes. It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it.
You dare put yourself on the pedestal of the Emperor's decisions?
Let me demonstrate how it works. In your retinue, there is a psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy psyker, Idira Tlass.
I know that Theodore was concerned about the fate of the dynasty and certain restricting obligations. Was it perhaps due to your partnership with her? I cannot deny the possibility Lady Theodore may have lamented losing some of the freedom she enjoyed prior to my arrival at the Expanse, nor will I deny that our partnership began with me exerting a certain amount of influence. However, you are not Lady Theodore. Let us put our difficulties that encumbered our relationship to the rest along with her. I do not recommend troubling yourself with the affairs of the past, for they have no bearing on your present position. Theodore, choose to forget about this particular matter. Follow her example, and your fate will be for the better for it. Why such an interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Koronus Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless? The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name, did not cool their interest in the Expanse. A mighty explorative fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed, and this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed incendiar. Koligos Winterscale has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting even more dangerous xenobeasts. And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own master of whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
Is Heinrich staying in my retinue, or are you taking him back?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
I want Heinrichs to accompany me.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
What kind of deal are we talking about?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them. I seem to remember that your exalted aristocrats presented you with many gifts. It would be rude of me not to follow
Give me
suit.
power armor.
Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor.
Oh.
In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
I want your power armor, though.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
On behalf of my house, I, Gregor von Valancius, hereby promise and guarantee to offer the Inquisition any assistance it may require. The Emperor protects.
I am glad to hear it. Your oath has been heard and added to the record. Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
Well, you will obviously want to discuss what just happened. But not now, I presume. Right now, it would be better for you to rest and think on the Lord Inquisitor's words in private. I bid you good night, rogue trader.
Crazy dream. Angry people coming after me. Woohoo! We did it!
The rise of the rogue trader heir restored a tenuous equilibrium to the Von Valancius Protectorate. For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal. The new Lord Captain's subjects praised the God Emperor and their leader wholeheartedly. For none knew what fate might await them.
Those Drukhari ships? They kind of looked like it. More. This episode's gonna be a long one, friends. Gonna be a long one. No! I gotta go do that and do all this over again, oh my god. Be right back. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna call it an episode there. Go start the next episode doing that celebration and then cut it to back to here. So yeah. See you guys when that happens. Peace.